Are there harms to the fetus if the mother smokes cannabis while pregnant? Yes, there are. And stoners, don't at me, bro, on this one. There are thousands of studies on this topic and hundreds of review papers. If you want to see my science archives on this, DM me. But today we'll be covering birth effects, young life effects, adolescent effects, and birth defects. I'm Lex Pelger. I do canna education for CV Sciences, the makers of Plus CBD. On the cannabinoids, ask me anything. Birth effects are where we have the clearest, most direct evidence. And as you can see here, you have an increased risk for preterm birth, more admissions to the neonatal intensive care unit, low birth weight, and small for gestational age infants. All of that makes complete sense because the endocannabinoid system is heavily involved in pregnancy, from the implantation all the way through the birth and delivery, as well as the formation of the placenta, big time. And so it makes sense that screwing with your cannabinoid system is going to change these things. That being said, most of these aren't the end of the world. The largest estimate I've seen for a low birth weight is 200 grams. That's not a huge difference. You also see lower APGAR scores for these children, which is measures of respiration and other things that they check out on an infant. And it makes sense that these would be lower because I've seen data in animals about how exposure to THC leads to not as good formation of the lungs and heart. This review also covers young life effects. So you see these children with disorders in the sleep cycle, memory problems, hyperactivity, as well as DNA methylation, which is the turning on and off of genes. We'll get to that in a second. Modifications in the brain, especially the amygdala. And in addition, girls, and there's always gender differences with cannabis, girls tend to have more aggressive behavior at the age of 18 months, shorter breastfeeding periods, and neonatal death. Of course, we should always remember that Hank's razor could explain a lot of this, which is socioeconomic causes might always be the reason. Finally, the big question, does prenatal cannabinoid exposure lead to autism or ADHD? And I would say probably. With the ability of the cannabinoids to turn on and off genes related to brain development that we have a lot of data on in animal models, as long as all this public health data pointing in this direction, it seems likely the answer to this is yes. That being said, I would say at least a third of the studies say no, this is not happening. But the other half to two-thirds of the studies say it is. And when you have that kind of disagreement in the literature, that usually means yes, there's a signal there. It's not a gigantic one. So is there a link? I do think so. But is it overwhelming? No. Finally, birth defects. These guys, Reese and Hulse out of Australia, put out really excellent analysis of European public health data. And for serious congenital anomalies like missing limbs, cleft limb and palates, serious malformations of the body, it's more likely to happen when you're using cannabis. Is it huge? No. Out of 100,000 people, it might be a couple more cases. But still, it's happening, and we should be honest about it.